Welcome back. Joining me now is Leanne McAdoo. We're going to be looking at some breaking news, not only about Hillary Clinton, but first about Planned Parenthood. It's an amazing story that's just come out that Planned Parenthood is coming after the film investigators in Houston. Of course, we've seen things in Houston before where the mayor, whose significant other has been a high-ranking official in Planned Parenthood there. We've also had situations where they've tried to intimidate local churches, demanding that they turn in their sermons, and now they're coming after the investigators who did the secret filming of Planned Parenthood.
Absolutely. So this is, updated as of 5 p.m. today, and this is a Harris County grand jury. They're going to indict the pair who were behind the Planned Parenthood videos. So this is a 2-month investigation they were working on. They were looking into the allegations that Planned Parenthood clinic there in Houston illegally sold the tissue of aborted fetuses. Well, now they've cleared the organization, and instead they're going to indict the secret videographers Daleiden and Sandra Merritt.
For what?
So they've been, right. They've been indicted on charges of tampering with a governmental record, which is a second-degree felony, could be punishable up to 20 years in prison. And then Daleiden received an additional misdemeanor indictment under the law, which prohibits the purchase and sale of human organs.
Tampering with a governmental record. Do you have any information as to specifics about that?
Well, that, I believe, is they said that they went a little too far in trying to create this identity, falsifying documents, IDs. Also, they set up an entire website to be this fake tissue procurement company in an effort to gain access to the private areas.
And of course, the government does this all the time.
Right.
I talked to Doug Hagman of Hagman & Hagman. He's an advisor to people doing special investigations. He's been a private investigator himself. And he said, this is one of the most common techniques that law enforcement has. It is not entrapment if you have reasonable cause to believe that something criminal is happening, to set up a false identity, to do an undercover investigation. The government does this all of the time. They just have to have probable cause to do that. That's what these people were doing. They were conducting an investigation. And clearly, I don't believe that they are cleared of this information. This is a technique to shoot the messenger and let the other people go. Just like we see people doing with Ed Snowden, saying he's a traitor, throw him in jail, don't listen to him. Don't, these are not the droids you're looking for, look away.
Or people in Congress saying, oh, the videos are fake, they're altered, and then they admit later they didn't even actually watch the videos. Yeah. So they're just going there hoping that no one has watched them. We've seen the videos, and they've also released the full videos unedited.
And you had people who were protesting this in Louisiana, and Governor Bobby Jindal, to the people that were there at the state capitol, what he did was he took the videos in their entirety, projected them for the protesters to watch, since obviously they hadn't watched them. Anybody who watches these videos has to be disturbed about the way Planned Parenthood is talking, about how they're talking about how they can get around the regulations, how they can make this work, make money. I want to make money for you selling me this tissue and so forth and so on. And we can make sure that we get exactly what you want. Tell us what you want, and we'll make sure that we procure this for you. It's very troubling.
And if they weren't doing anything wrong, because they admit, oh, we didn't do anything wrong, but we're going to stop getting profit for selling this fetal tissue. So they say they've now stopped that practice. So it's just another case of people having friends in high places. Obviously, the daughter of the Planned Parenthood director is Hillary Clinton's one of her campaign managers there. So friends in high places. This is one of her big pushes is, Planned Parenthood, women's rights. We're not going to let them take this away from us.
And just so we understand some of the players here too, as we've mentioned before, Cecile Richards, who's head of Planned Parenthood, her mother was Ann Richards, the former governor here in Texas, very highly politically connected, very much a part of the established left. And again, this mayor who is in Houston, there have been concerns about impropriety there because of the close association that her lesbian partner has as a PR, the head of PR for Planned Parenthood.
Right. And so, this is just kind of this whole segment is about skirting the law. There are those, we're just kind of pointing out that there are corporations that are above the law. The laws do not apply for them. If you had offered to buy or sell some fetal tissue on the black market, you'd be in prison. But, now we see it's the people who are actually, it's the shoot the messenger kind of thing. So switching gears here, sort of on the same topic of corporations, we learned with the Trans-Pacific Partnership that they were wanting personhood, so they could be considered as person, have the same rights. Yet they they don't want to be treated as such. They want to be above the law, and now actually getting elected to where they can write the law to where it benefits them.
Oh, they're openly writing the laws. We just saw that with the driverless cars. We had the Silicon Valley executives come to Obama and say, look, California is going to put some restrictions on us because we've had a lot of accidents there. They're concerned. They want a human as a backup in the vehicles mandated. Make this go away.
Right.
We want you to enact laws at a national level that will shut down any concerns about safety at the state level. And oh, by the way, we'd like a subsidy as well. So they go and they openly now are writing the laws just like they did with the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Right. It's, you know, it must be good to be king. So Disney World, of course, you know, they're a huge corporation. They had an unprecedented no-fly zone over the Magic Kingdom. They said that this was to protect their heavily trafficked park from terrorism.
And the only park in Orlando that has that, because there's a lot of parks in Orlando, but only Disney said you can't.
Country
yeah, you can't have a fly zone over us, the only one in the country.
Right. And so they say here in this article, it puts Mickey Mouse on par with the president and Congress, which also have no-fly zones in its airspace. So this is how powerful Disney is. Now they're saying that they want an exception to this no-fly zone they have, so they can fly their own drones over the Magic Kingdom.
And nobody else can fly drones at night. That's an FAA thing. You can't fly, but they want to be able to fly drones at night. They want to be able to be the only ones to fly drones over the Magic Kingdom. And of course, they've been able to get massive subsidies, even for their fireworks displays that they have every night, calling it research into fireworks. So they get massive subsidies from the federal government.
And so you can say, well, here's a company that they're creating a lot of jobs, and we need to make some exceptions for them. Well, now we also know that they are giving away those jobs with American workers who are very capable of doing those jobs, and just another affront to the American people. You know, they're just supposed to be this American icon here. But now we have some lawsuits coming out claiming that Disney colluded to replace U.S. workers with immigrants. They claim the companies broke the law by using temporary H-1B visas to bring in immigrant workers, knowing that Americans would be displaced from their jobs. These people were actually forced to train their replacements as in order to get
we reported
their
on this,
severance
and now
pay.
it's part of the political dialogue in Iowa. We have a commercial that's being played on the airways there where you have a former Disney employee talking about how they came in, they strong-armed them. They said, if you want any benefits, as severance benefits, you will train your replacements, and we're getting rid of you, and bring in people from India and elsewhere at a fraction of the rate that they were paying them.
And then I also saw this. So the U.S. has hiked the H-1B L-1 visa fee. It's going to hit the Indian IT companies. This is out of the Hindu Times. So you're thinking, oh, well, that's good. They're going to stop them from importing these foreign workers. Well, it'll keep American jobs. It's not about that. The reason why they're doing this is right now, with bringing in these H-1B, H-2B visas, they make $70 and $80 million annually for the U.S. Treasury. Well, with this new decree, they have to submit an additional fee of $4,000 if they want to bring some workers over. This measure is expected to raise between 1.4 and 1.6 billion every year for the next 1 decade.
So it's not going to protect American jobs. It's just going to make more revenue for the federal government.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and so, you know, obviously the Center of Immigration Studies, they find there's no evidence of labor shortage in H-2B occupations, which, you know, this is the tech workers there at H-1B, or the accountants and things. But these H-2B occupations, pretty much every job in Florida is an H-2B job. It's all about tourism. It's all seasonal. It's all service. It's all construction. So these are all jobs that are now being given away. And then, oh, here's a breaking news. Foreign guest workers in the U.S. found to earn less than others in the same job. So, of course, that's why they are hiring foreign workers, because they know that they can pay them less. And then this is an Economic Policy Institute, which is a left-leaning think tank. And they said,
that's how they work it.
Yeah, they're saying, imagine that.
Well, we've got Hillary Clinton contest winners coming up in the next segment. There was some breaking news about Hillary today. We had Tom DeLay say what?
Well, the FBI says they're ready to indict Hillary. He says he's got sources on the inside that they're ready to indict. And if the Attorney General doesn't move forward with that, they're going to go public. Well,
I hope that's true. We also had the McLaughlin report, Clarence Page saying that he thought that they would do an indictment, but they would not prosecute. Meanwhile, we see yet another report today that she was having her team cut and paste classified information from server to server, just as she denied to Richard Reeves and everybody else. Complete denial. And that's the way the Clintons deal with this. Now, when we come back, we're going to play a report from Richard Reeves, who is still on site in Iowa and Vermont. And so we're going to have a report coming up from him.